Hey guys, it's May the 19th, 2023. We're weaning our fall-born steers today. So most of these steers and heifers were born back in September. So we're going to wean them today. I'm going to vaccinate them. Most of them have been castrated. There's a few I'm going to castrate today, and I'm also going to do a walkthrough and show you kind of what we look for in raising our own bulls on grass, and I'll tell you which ones I'm going to cull and which ones I'm going to keep. Again, these are primarily all red Angus, have a very few that have a little bit of Simmental in them. But again, talking about selecting cattle that do well on just grass, and I'll show you what I look for. And then later I may show you how what it looks like for us to vaccinate and do some of the processing of the cattle. And then we're also going to do some palpation of the fall cows to see which ones are bred. So this is a bull I like. He's actually a 3-year-old bull. He's not huge, and he's honestly filled out a lot more in the last year, but he's one I'm planning on using on the registered herd this year. So again, he's got a nice slick hair coat, fairly well proportioned. He's got good feet, so that's kind of what I'm looking for. Here's another bull, 3-year-old, nice slick hair coat. He's one that we used on our registered cows last year. Again, I like him fairly well. Haven't had calves long enough to really know how well I like him, but so far I like him fairly well, and he's got a nice hair coat. The bull I just showed you, this is one of his sons here. Again, born back in September. I like him. This bull's a 4-year-old. He is one that I honestly don't like as much. He hasn't shed out as well, and he's a little bit taller than what I like. And I should have learned from the fact that whenever he was a year old, he kind of got real tall and lanky, and then filled out and looked better as a 2-year-old. But again, he's one I'm going to use on commercial cattle, but not good enough to use on the registered cattle. The bull I just showed you, this is his half brother, so out of the same cow. He also kind of fell apart this winter and lost a lot of weight. He's picked his weight up now, but I'm going to castrate him. He's about 1.5 years old, and again, doesn't have a very good hair coat, lost condition this winter, so he's going to make a steer. Again, this is K71. That's an H6 son. That's the second bull I showed you, one of his sons, and again, that's one of the ones we're keeping as a bull for now. Okay, here's another bull, bad hair coat. He's one that if you'd have seen him as a weanling, he looked awesome. Hasn't done as well over the winter. Again, bad hair coat. We're going to cut him today. This bull is a yearling. He's actually a 1/4 Simmental, but the Simmental side is a smaller frame Simmental. He's going to be the primary bull we're going to use on heifers this year. So again, he's going to be our heifer bull. Again, you can tell he's in a lot better condition, has a lot better hair coat than the other bull that we're going to cut. Again, he's going to be used on commercial heifers. This is our Heifer bull. He's not standing very pretty right now, but he's a bull we use on our commercial cattle. Again, nice cross with the red Angus. This is a 2-year-old bull, J21. We raised this bull, planning on using this bull on the registered cows as well as the other bull that I'd already shown you earlier. Lastly, I'm going to show you this yellow steer. He will not be 1 year old until I think the end of June. He's a 1/4 Charolais, 1/4 Hereford, and then a 1/4 Simmental, and 1/4 Angus. He's made a really nice steer. So we won't process him for a whole nother year, so he's got a lot of growing left to do. All right, so we don't have a tub system. I actually have what's called basically a bud box. It's kind of like a homemade bud box. So basically it's a dead end alley. So the cows are over here. The cattle we're working are behind me. They're over this way. I'm gonna run them down the alley. They're gonna go into this back portion, and then I'm gonna open this up or move this gate this way. The gate's at an angle, and it basically funnels them into the alleyway. And I'll be on that side pushing them. So I'll kind of show you how that works, and it's a whole lot cheaper than buying a tub system. One thing I do like about this chute, this is an Arrow equipped. We bought it about a year ago. Before that, I only had a portable chute from work I was using. One thing I do like is this actually works the head gate, so you can actually stand in the back of the chute and catch them from the back rather than standing in the front, because they usually don't want to go forward if somebody's standing in the front of the chute or towards the front. So I like that about it. So it's attached to this bar that works the head catch. So you can actually slide it. If you want it up front, you can actually slide it up. Today on our steers, we're giving 2 vaccines. We're giving blackleg, and then we're giving triangle 10. Both of those are killed vaccine. And then we're also doing brucellosis vaccine on the heifers.
It's for bumblebee.
All right, so we're done working calves at the other farm. This is on the same farm, but the other side of the farm, we've got a portable setup here. I've got the chute from work, a foremost portable, and then we've got portable panels that make there's portable alley, there's portable frames for an alley. So I've got a 24-foot alley that's made out of portable frames and then panels. And we got a holding pin back there, and then a makeshift kind of alley, or to narrow them down into the alley lane, I guess you'd say. So again, brake checking and deciding if we're going to call what we need to call. Again, all this is portable, so I can take this to a rented farm and use it different places. This is the mom of the big yellow steer I talked about. She's half Charolais and half Hereford. You can let her out. So we just finished working the cattle today, just finished preg checking. We just rotated them onto the new pasture grass. And I wanted to talk a little bit about like marketing and marketing options. So since we do grass finished beef, we did have quite a few open yearling heifers and open 2-year-old heifers. So in other words, heifers that were 2-year-olds that didn't breed back after their first calf. And the others were, should have been bred around 15 months old, but they didn't conceive. So I don't know exact percentages yet, but I think we had 7 yearlings that were bred, and I think we had 5 that were not bred. So 7 bred, 5 not bred. That sounds like not very good conception, but the thing you have to remember is since we're selecting for grass finished genetics, we don't necessarily expect a high conception rate with the way that we feed them. They're on, again, just grass and hay in the winter. So the option that we do have, though, since we do finish grass finished beef, is these yearlings that did not breed. They'll be turning 2 in September. So they should be calving at that time. Since they're not bred, then we can actually process those yearlings for beef, or they'll be 2-year-olds at that point for beef in the fall. So late fall, they should be ready to process. And then we did have some, I think there were only 2 2-year-olds that were basically they're 2.5-year-olds now that did not breed back, and we can do the same thing with them. We can wean their calf off of them now. We can give them until the fall to put on weight, and then we can also process those for beef. since they'll be slightly over 36 months old, so you're not allowed to do bone-in cuts at that age, but I found the meat quality is still very good at that age. And again, not all our grass finished beef is heifers, but we do have quite a few steers, but that can help supplement everything as well. Okay. One thing I did want to mention or clarify is I talked about the conception rates not being very good the way we manage cattle. On the flip side of that is we're actually selecting for the more fertile heifers by managing it the way we do. So if you put all these heifers on feed over the winter and you kept them in, you use feed to grain to keep them in good body condition, then you're going to get higher conception rates, but you're not selecting for the animals that are adapted to your environment. So by doing things the way we do it, you're selecting for your early maturing heifers, but also the ones that are more adaptable and the ones that are more fertile. And one thing I was pleased with is we had 4 registered yearlings in that group, and all 4 of those were bred, so that was a positive. And I think that brings us up, so this fall we should have a total of 11 registered cattle that'll be calving that are including those 4 heifers. So about half of this group will be registered come calving time. So hopefully they do well. And I think we're about done for the day, although I do have to go to my parents' place in Winchester where we have some of our grass finished steers. We're taking steers to the processor next week, so I was going to try to sort out the 5 we're going to take. So I may do a short video there if I have time. Thank you. So I'm in Winchester. These are our group of steers that we're grass finishing. There's I think around 36 in here total. We just sorted out 5 to take to the market, to the processor. We're going to take them in 5 days. I can show you a video of the ones we're taking. Yeah, so these are the 5 steers we're taking in 5 days. You see different size steers, but they all have a fairly good finish. They're not perfect, but we've had a slow start to spring this year, and not as much grass as normal, but I feel like overall they look pretty good. I'm not sure weights yet. I'll find out weights on Wednesday when I take them. All right, so we're done for today. I'll post more videos kind of showing what we're doing here in Winchester with the finishing the steers in the future. But for now, we'll see y'all later.